I'm really nervous to be speaking today. I don't usually do a lot of public speaking. I've been working as a model for the past 7 years, so generally people aren't too concerned with what you have to say. But about 6 months ago, I started a project called the House of Riot. The whole aim of the project was to help, yeah, have we got it? Was to help young people engage with politics. So yeah, it's been a really fun ride and I've learned a lot. So the first thing that I wanted to talk about is the power of fashion for social change. Whether you think that you're into fashion or not, we all kind of are. We all put on our clothes every morning and we make a conscious decision about how we want to represent ourselves to others, you know, and express our feelings, we can express our ideas, so we're all into fashion. It can be really powerful. At House of Riot, we make these t-shirts that look like this. This is a very obvious way of expressing your ideas through fashion. But it doesn't always have to be so obvious. And another really good example is like the grunge movement of the 90s or the Riot Girl movement. All of a sudden, women didn't have to be typically pretty to, be seen as cool. Or even in the early 20th century when women started wearing trousers. This obviously came out of, whoa, hello, struggling with the mic today. It obviously came out of like wartime and desperation, but the continuation of women wearing trousers really pushed like gender stereotypes and those kind of barriers. So, fashion can, oh, fuck. Wrong ears for this. Can I just do that? Hey guys. So this is another good example of how fashion can be powerful to express ideas. Other examples of Vivienne Westwood, a super obvious one. One of my favorite t-shirts of hers was an early one with two half-naked cowboys wearing chaps facing each other as a way to sort of speak about gay rights. Or Valentino using a lot of punk symbolism through their clothes, as a sign of solidarity towards the punk movement. Which I think is really cool. So there are a lot of ways that we can use fashion to express our ideas. The second thing that I wanted to talk to you about today is the idea of making politics really cool, which is obviously a somewhat hard feat. I kind of feel like the over-intellectualization of these things can be detrimental to the cause when we're trying to round up the masses to get together and make some change. Obviously the intellectual side is super important and integral to change, but we really need to make it appealing to a lot of people because I know myself a year ago was super intimidated about politics. I always thought it was something for someone else, someone older than me, someone more formally educated than me, but I really gave a shit. I was like crying at the newspaper. Opening it up and making it more accessible to people, I think is really cool. I think people like this woman here, Isabel Manfredi. She was the star of our last campaign. She's in a band called The Preachers, and she's a very fucking cool woman. So to have people like her on board is just amazing. Or even Beyonce coming out and claiming, like shouting feminists so loudly. I don't know if you guys saw the MTV thing, but it was pretty epic. Suddenly these 14-year-old girls are questioning whether they're feminists or not. I don't think I even knew the word when I was 14, so it's really important to have these people making these kind of issues look really cool and accessible to everyone. The third thing, sorry about my notes, I'm really nervous, is the idea of using what you've got. So the way that House of Riot started was during Australian Fashion Week, the last Australian Fashion Week. I just had this idea that, it started from an idea I had last year. I wore this t-shirt that I'd made that said, "Suck my cervix," and it was a major hit with all the bloggers and kind of went wild. So this year when I came back to Australia for Fashion Week, I was really frustrated at the political climate and what was going on. So I'm like, I'm gonna make a t-shirt that says something that I really care about. And then I'm like, how about I make a different one for every day and make it like this story that bloggers can follow? And then it kind of boomed into me making 100 t-shirts and not sleeping very much for the week beforehand and giving them to all my friends and colleagues to wear during the event. And this kind of blew up way beyond what I expected. I was suddenly getting calls from US Vogue and French Elle and Brazilian magazines and in Japan and everywhere, and stores locally and internationally wanting to stock these shirts, which really blew my mind. But essentially, the thing that I had was this platform. Any model will tell you at Fashion Week you have cameras in your face 24/7. So this was something that I had that I could use to make a change. Another really good example of this is the latest Chanel show. I'm not sure if any of you guys saw it, but it was amazing. Karl Lagerfeld hosted this mini protest on the catwalk and got all the models to walk down with placards sort of declaring what they all thought. Obviously, we don't all have the power of Karl Lagerfeld to be the creative director of one of the biggest fashion events of the year, but we all have something. Maybe you're a dancer and you could protest in the form of dance, or even beyond that, maybe you're a graphic designer and you could offer some of your time pro bono to help a cause or to help someone out. So we all have something and we can use it to, channel our ideas in a productive way. So essentially, what I want to talk about today, in conclusion, is that fashion is powerful, and it can be. We need to make politics look cool, because it is, and use whatever you've got, because we all have something. Thank you.